Chapter 11. The Shrine of Dagon. The undead of Titanus stood waiting for their master to issue a command. Even the Zinkarlas were motionless. The previous battle with Pale Knight was evident. The fresh destruction littered the ruins of the already destroyed city. Every dead body was utterly indifferent about their surroundings. The wind gusted as Klemo and Jerious arrived, teleporting in. "Zinkarlas!" Jerious shouted as he walked into the city. "Prevent anything from teleporting here. We have work to do." The undead Klemos bowed at the command, then focused their psychic energy. "The anti-teleport power they are making will prevent us from teleporting out," the living Klemo said. "I know. I'm counting on it. I can't have you leave." Jerious turned to Klemo. "Wouldn't want you to have any second thoughts." Klemo shrugged. "What, no torture this time?" Jerious smiled. "Maybe next time." "Have you actually changed? Is the mind seat of Jason in your head actually preventing you from delighting in my misery?" Klemo asked. "Klemo, I neither desire nor care about your suffering. We have a great deal of work to do. If you honestly still care about helping Jason, then you'll do whatever I say. Otherwise, Jason will be forever lost to Dagon." Jerious turned back around and continued walking. Klemo narrowed his eyes but said nothing. They walked upstairs, leading into a raised platform within the city. Walking in, Klemo took note of an altar to a god he did not recognize. Jerious unsheathed his Godslayer sword, placing it on the altar of the unknown god. He chanted words Klemo was unfamiliar with. "Klemo, something's wrong here," Fission said. Klemo clutched the hilts of Fission, ready to draw them to attack Jerious, or anything Jerious might send his way. "Shh!" Klemo attempted to calm Fission. Looking back up to Jerious, he opened his mouth, ready to ask, "What?" but was interrupted. "This is the altar to the new god. He was once far more powerful than any god that exists today. Even with the powers of countless psychics absorbed, he is a fraction of his true self, just as I am." Klemo looked closely at the altar. It was newly fashioned or sculpted. It was made out of ebony marble and shaped like a mass of tentacles that appeared to have no center. The altar under the statue had a red and black sheet decorated with magical runes that Klemo could not possibly recognize. "Dagon!" "Yes, it is his altar, the new god Dagon," Jerious said. Klemo drew his swords. "I thought you had no god, Jerious." Jerious laughed. He looked back to Klemo. "Silly Elin. Dagon is not my god. I merely show respect to myself." "You have his altar. He can only be your god. He's a demon. You're a demon. It makes sense to me." Klemo screamed. "I did not put this altar here. Dagon did." Klemo was interrupted by a shattering boom all around. The Zinkarlas fell to the ground. A stream of blue energy flowed out of the Zinkarlas and into the sky. Klemo felt his own psychic energy draining from his body. The glow of Fission faded as even the psychic weapon was being drained of its mental force. Klemo fell to his knees, feeling weaker by the second. "Dagon, I need them!" Jerious shouted to the air. The draining ceased. Klemo felt his psychic energy returning. Looking at Fission, he saw the weapon brighten again. Klemo looked up to Jerious, who was still staring into the sky. Bursting in dark fire, the altar of Dagon came to life. Tentacles writhed, swinging wildly around itself, not in an attacking manner, but like a sea creature awakening and stretching. The air filled with a thin black mist that was foul. Klemo covered his mouth with his arm. Jerious endured it. refusing to cover his face. So the psychic god has finally decided to grace me with his presence. Jerious' tone was sarcastic. The mist swirled around the altar. I'm not here for you to command, the voice of Dagon hissed, sounding like an echo even though the source was directly in front of them. Jerious held out his arms to the altar of Dagon. Have I ever commanded you, old friend? Do you not recognize me, Prism? The tentacles ceased swirling. I've always watched you. You fooled the other gods. You have made a lot of noise these last few years. It was all necessary. You could not be as powerful as you are if I did not give Jason and Alvaro to you. Klemo stood up, holding Fission ready to attack. I knew you couldn't be trusted. Jerious pointed at Klemo without looking at him. A ray of magic exited his fingers, striking the one-eared teleporter. Paralyze! Klemo fell to the ground, motionless. This is true. I have waited for you to rise. What is your plan now that everything has noticed you? Dagon asked. Jason, no doubt, still wants every demon dead, Jerious asked. Jason and I are one. My desires are his desires, and his desires are my desires. We have been quite busy since our merger. He fought it at first, but once I showed him that through me he could accomplish his goal and far more, he ceased fighting me. The altar swirled the tentacles. I am surprised that he did not fight you when you started absorbing every psychic on Corvus, Jerious said. You are incorrect, Jerious, Dagon said. Oh? Jerious genuinely looked surprised. It was not just Corvus, but most psychics in the multiverse. I am truly a god now. Even Loth is below me. Then why haven't you killed her if you are more powerful? Jerious asked. Dagon was silent. Prism, you disappoint me. Jerious turned around to leave the altar. The altar turned red with anger. I do not care what part of Cretan you are. I am a god, and I will be given proper respect. Jerious stopped walking. He turned his head back. Respect is earned. So far you have only eaten power, and that I've given you. With Jason and Alvaro, I could have killed Loth and continued doing things his way. You've been doing nothing but absorbing psychics throughout the cosmos. Are you useful or not, Dagon? The room quaked. I have done far more than Jason could ever have done by himself. The mist turned red, matching Dagon's anger. Foolish one! Do you not realize that I control every single Red Klemo? Jerious spun around, pointing at the altar. You do not control them. They may be held captive by you and their city, but they do not serve you. You are truly part of Cretan. He was never easily impressed. The altar dimmed from red to blue. The surrounding mist matched. I have accomplished one thing that even you will have to admit is impressive. Lowering his hand, Jerious waited for Dagon to tell. The 666 abysses. Dagon paused. Jerious shrugged with an annoyed look on his face. Yes, you can do math. What an impressive psychic god you are. Get on with it, Dagon. 200 abysmal layers remain, Dagon said. Jerious shook his head from side to side. Remain? The word echoed in the room. What do you mean, remain? Dagon said nothing. His eyes lit up. Do you mean to tell me that you've gotten so powerful that you can obliterate entire realms? Dagon laughed. His laughter boomed all around, as if 1,000 voices were laughing all at once. Yes, Jerious, that is correct. I am more powerful. I am almost powerful enough to destroy the realm you currently occupy, if I desired. Loth fears me, yet she fears you even more. Why is that? Because I am unpredictable. Also, yes, I am impressed. The Jason in my head is jealous of the power you wield, by the way. Pfft, that's a mere fabrication. The altar shook. You have very little time. They are coming for you, Jerious. I know. The mist cleared away as the altar reverted to normal stone. Jerious pointed at Klemo. Dismiss. A similar beam exited his finger, touching the immobile Klemo. His body twitched as he slowly got to his feet. Did you hear that, Klemo? Jerious asked. Which part? The part where you serve a demon god, or the part where a demon god serves you? Dagon is destroying every demon. I thought you would be thrilled to learn that. Klemo spat. He has taken my brothers and sisters. Dagon must pay for his crimes. Jerry shook his head. Did you honestly believe that destroying every single demon would be without a cost? You've been fighting them for years, Klemo. Don't be so naive. Will the multiverse ever be rid of you? Klemo asked himself more than Jerious. Jerious laughed as he walked out of the altar room. The city of Klemo. The Red Klemos stood motionless and bored. With all of their power, capability, and numbers, they could do nothing here in this limbo prison. They have long ago ran out of things to say to one another. The sky over the city of Klemo was dark as it had been since Dagon took over. The sky swirled into a vortex. The swirling formed a horizontal line across the sky from end to end. Taking note of the change, the Reds looked up. Opening up, the line revealed itself to be a massive blue eye. There was no white hue, only dark blue. Screaming in terror, the Reds scattered, trying to scramble away from the massive eye in the sky. A booming voice encompassed the entire city. No Red could deny the voice of Dagon. Klemos, came the demon god of psychics' voice. The Reds ceased their pointless running in circles and random patterns, accepting that there was nowhere to run. There was no escape from the clutches of Dagon. You can do as I bid or suffer, Dagon's voice roared. We will never serve you, demon, one Red Klemo shouted to the sky. Dagon laughed, causing the buildings to shake. You sound as if you actually have a choice. We're powerful enough to kill you, and you know it. You cannot leave this place unless I will it. I have power over you. All you can do is keep the door shut. We're still all-powerful within our city. No. I control the city and everything in it. I can will the ground to attack you. The ground formed random figures and spikes, crushing two Reds in the process. I control the air. The air around one Red froze, then exploded, decapitating him. Time and space here are mine to command. By will alone, gravity ceased to function. The Reds floated up, not powerless. They can manifest an infinite number of different powers to return to the ground, or take control of their body to prevent floating helplessly. I can kill any of you instantly. None of you can harm me. Now do you see? Dagon roared. Even if 100 years passed here, we would never follow any command from a demon. So be it. The eye of Dagon swirled counterclockwise as it closed. A flash of light occurred. Then the eye reopened. Is that still your opinion? Dagon asked. The Reds looked at each other. They all wore a bored, vague expression. How are you so patient, Dagon? You actually made us wait 100 years. You left us here alone, with nothing but ourselves to keep company for 100 years. Do you submit to my will now? Even with 1,000 years, we will never! Red was interrupted as the eye of Dagon closed once more with the same flash. The eye reopened. It looked directly at the Red who spoke last. Every Red was laying on the ground, lethargic and uncaring, fully consumed by boredom and despair. I have not made the full 1,000 years past as you insisted it would take. No, merely half of that. Do you submit to my will now? The same Red was drooling from his gaped mouth. Long ago, this one stopped moving. There was nothing for him or any of them to do here. With all of their powers, they still failed to have enough to cure boredom within this entrapment. He closed his mouth and slowly stood up. With dead eyes, Red looked up to the sky at the eye of Dagon. Please end this. We submit. I knew you would see things my way. I promise my little Klemos that none of you will ever be bored again. The Reds half smiled, uncaring about the loss of their will momentarily, but happy to finally end the never-ending boredom that lingered in the city of Klemo. Portals opened all around the city. The tentacles exit, wrapping around the compliant Klemos. Their psychic energy was not drained, instead just their will. Dagon planted in their heads not a mind seed, but a psychic stronghold over their consciousness that seeped all throughout their every thought. Red has been dominated. Under Dagon's control, they realize that no time has actually passed. Dagon only made time pass here. Dagon did not endure those thousands of years. Only Red's perception experienced that. They no longer cared all the same. Not just from their domination effect, but all from the 600 years of nothing in the mind of Jerious Meet. They are coming. Loth cannot return. I have not only expelled her this time, but fully drained the toxic, unholy water from your system. She has no power over you, Jason said. The mental form of Jason still remained gaseous and formless. The mental form of Jerious was identical to his young self. The naked, bodily image of Jerious held his arms out while he spoke. Yes, Jason, they are coming. How shall you fight, Loth? I do not see you preparing for battle. Surely the Zinkarlas are not enough. I will not need to do anything. Jerious chuckled. You could have just told me. It would have been faster. Jason's gaseous form glowed a neon green for a moment as he rummaged through the brain of Jerious. The gas reverted to the natural, clear color. Ah, I see. Well played, old man. Good. I'm glad that we are on the same page now. Jerious lowered his arms. Now, if you excuse me, I do not have time to chat with you in my head. I have work to do. The form of Jerious vanished. Twinkle, Gray, and Magic. This is stupid. What are we even doing? He's made his choice. We can't help him, Twinkle said. Gray pounded her hand on the table to express her annoyance. It doesn't matter. He doesn't know what he's doing. If he honestly had even half of the experience of me or you, he would have chosen us. Magic dismissed the scrying spell. The image of Junior Klemo and Jerious faded away. I'm as strong. Twinkle and Gray looked at Magic, then looked down, frowning. They shook their heads, agreeing. I miss the city, Twinkle said. I miss a good night's sleep without worrying about some demon lord or demon god trying to constantly kill us. Twinkle laughed. When was the last time something wasn't trying to kill us? He genuinely asked. Magic placed his hands on his chin. He joined the laughter. 16 years, I think? Remember that one time that dragon thought it was a good idea to swallow Stronghold? Gray asked. Twinkle wiped away a tear, still laughing. No way any of us will ever forget that. We thought he was nuts for letting the dragon do it. That dragon's smile vanished when Strong effortlessly ripped through his stomach, Magic said. Gray shook her head. Strong would resent us for turning our backs on Junior. The two ceased their laughter. They nodded their agreement. It sounds as though you actually want to go to Titanus, too. Twinkle held his hands up, imitating quotation marks. Rescue him. Twinkle's right, Gray. We could get him out of there. Jerious set up an anti-teleportation zone. Even if we did manage to get to Junior, why would he go with us? Seriously? Gray asked. We killed Red without teleporting. This should be way easier. Jerious came. Jerious sat in the great library. His books, valuables, and that he cared about were moved here. Some time ago by one of these Red Klemos. Flipping through his spell books, memorizing spells, and preparing for what will be a very long day and night. Jason astral projected. The green spectral Jason floated away from Jerious, searching the corridors of the fallen ruined city of Klemo. There you are, Jason said. Klemo turned around to look at Jason. I cannot believe I trusted you enough to actually save Jerious. Klemo held his fist down to the astral projection, angered at the sight. Jason held a hand to his head, attempting to form the words. Klemo, you know I am not the same as Jason that you once knew. Yeah, no shit. Klemo lowered his fist. And you know that my plan to kill every demon has been met with some trouble, yet still is happening. Your true self is dead, isn't he? Klemo asked. He might as well be, Klemo. Jason, that is the true Jason, has melded with the demon lord Dagon. Together they have become more powerful enough to call themselves a god. I heard Dagon. He was loud and impossible to ignore. You don't need to explain it to me. Klemo waved his hand, shooing Jason. Jason shrugged. We will need all the help we can get. Seriously? Klemo said with surprise. You really expect me to actually help Jerious? Don't think of it as helping Jerious. Think of it as helping me. Klemo stomped his foot. You are not the same Jason. I am the only Jason. Klemo sighed, silently admitting the point the astral projection made. Zane, Corsair, and Mark Johnson. Zane turned to Mark. Archon, Zane commanded. Mark saluted Zane out of respect. His angelic wings stretched out, then relaxed as his hand came down. Yes, sir? We have lost one of the finest Archons the multiverse has ever known. Britt Morrison has fallen. You will need to take his place as the representative of Sabin. Are you ready for the responsibility it bears? Zane asked. My soul is dedicated to the gods. If Sabin has called upon me, then I shall be his voice, Mark declared. Celestia boomed with holy light as divine energy surged into Mark Johnson. His power grew. The armor he wore fell off, revealing white robes that grew over his wings. His new attire settled into place. Mark's eyes shone bright with arcane and divine knowledge bestowed upon him. Mark now understood how magic works. All that Britt Morrison knew, Mark now knows. I am the holy Archon messenger of Sabin, Mark declared. You are also now our equal, Corsair said. Mark nodded. We have to destroy Jerious, Corsair said. My forces have retaken the armory. The Zenkarla Klemos have already fled from there. They cannot return that way ever again. I will remain here to guard it personally, Zane said as he sat down. He only cared about that sword with the blasphemous name. I doubt he will return, Mark said. It does not matter what we think he may or may not do. I will stay here and guard this sacred place, Zane said. Mark and Corsair looked at each other. Then you and I go to attack Jerious and end him, Corsair said, raising his fist in heated excitement at the prospect. Mark frowned. He held his hand up to calm Corsair. No, I cannot go either. By proxy, neither can the angels and archons of Sabin. Corsair almost fell over with surprise. What? You know how dangerous Jerious is. He must die today. He truly is a threat to the multiverse and should never be underestimated. However, the multiverse does not revolve around him. Sabin's wisdom has been bestowed upon me, and I can see clearly now that we must tend to our responsibilities if we desire to keep evil at bay from the mortal realms. Mark lowered his head in reverence. Guard duty. Pacifism. Have the two of you gone completely mad? Deities, angels, and archons will not relent. We attack him the moment we are ready, Corsair declared. If that is deity's will, so be it, friend. I wish you luck, Corsair, Zane said. End of chapter 11.